Hello, everyone. It is Saturday, June 1st, and you're watching the TXA Market Update. I apologize. I have not been around even after I said I was going to be around due to getting onto summer break. And then life hit, and we are having to move my grandmother, unfortunately, to an advanced Alzheimer's care facility. I have been dealing with a lot of things. The one positive silver lining I could say right now about the situation is crypto has not done much the last couple of weeks. Ever since we tapped the top of the flag here, we pretty much just pulled back almost into a triangle. Now the good news about that is we entered in the triangle from below, so in theory we should break out to the upside. Now, of course, we could break back down and get back inside this pattern, head back down to the 2.6. There's a lot of things that could go on right now. So let's just kind of scan through the market. Let's look through our bigs, get our bearings. We'll check in with our alt trades. We'll see what kind of news is going on. It's been quiet though. I went and I dug through the last week or two. This is not a lot going on. Consensus did start. There's a little bit of legislative stuff going on. Politics in the US has been heating up with Donald Trump's guilty verdict in the New York hush money trial. Of course, expecting an appeal, but that is heating up the political stage for a nasty showdown in November that I think a lot of Americans are not looking forward to. And it speaks to the uncertainty in the markets because typically the elections are tied pretty intimately to markets. I'm not going to go into all the nuances of that, but suffice it to say, a shakeup in the presidency could lead to a shakeup in the markets. Now, all that aside, I see a triangle on Bitcoin. If we can break to the upside, there's a chance for a breakout move to the upside after you can get past this resistance point. But really, nothing is really started yet. If you look down here, volume hasn't really picked up. We had a little bit of a peak on that push, and that's been it. It has gone quiet. Now, F popped up, and you can see a little bit of a triangle on F here. Locally speaking, now of course this could just be an early bad bit of pattern there, but in theory there is your shot to get F up to that one fib at 4,800, back to its all-time high. Can it do it? It certainly could. It's got a lot of ETF hype going on. And you can see relative to Bitcoin, it's made it back above the 236. It's broken that resistance point, which it's broken before. It's stuck back underneath in. If it can hold up above this time, it may break that 382 and get back up to the 50. Bitcoin would have to kind of hang out though. If Bitcoin breaks free, it's anyone's guess at that point. The Bitcoin CME futures, no gaps to speak of. That's good. The DXY kind of holding at 104. It's kind of stuck sideways. It would need to kind of cool off. Presumably for Bitcoin to start up steam again, it would be helpful if the DXY would slide back down towards this 103 and below mark. The Dow Jones finally cooled off its all-time high rally over the course of the last week or so, down about 5%. A nice, cool, starting to look like a potential double top there. I'm sure there's a lot of talk in Wall Street of a double top and a potential reversal there. Same thing on the S&P. Would be a pretty good reversal, chance to reverse down to at least the 200 moving average there. You've got 8%, so definitely some room to fall there. Bitcoin dominance finally cooled off a little bit during this sideways move, so maybe some alts are up. Certainly ETH is up, and that had a lot to do with this initial fall in dominance. Pretty much been sideways since then, so I don't expect a lot of alt movement. Hood, a little bit of pullback after pushing up. You can see coin broke out of that little pattern and bounced off of it. Will this be a break, a hook, and a go? Maybe. NVIDIA, a little bit of an all-time high breakout there and now cool off. Square starting to break down a little bit more. Will it get to the bottom of this shoulder? We never really tapped down there. It could. Amazon cooling off a little bit, so nothing really crazy going on out there. Before we dig into our alts too much, you can see 1 inch there pulling back to 236. Let's just go and look a little bit of the news. The SEC requires spot Ethereum ETF issuers to submit the first round of S1 draft forms by Friday. BlackRock and VanEck have already submitted them. It's expected that at least 2 more rounds will be required, so we're not done yet, but we're getting closer. You can see the banner is gone and been replaced with Consensus is live. Tune in with the virtual pass. We'll meet some citizens of Consensus in just a moment. Ripple's Brad Garlinghouse foresees XRP, Solana, and Cardano ETFs. If that is true, XRP, Solana, and Cardano have more room to run, or it's already been priced in on Insider News and they're going to sell it when the ETF rolls out. It's still early. We'll see. I think XRP still has a chance to get back over $1 in this next cycle if Bitcoin can run higher. Solana certainly has made some huge waves despite network troubles and despite my dislike for the way it's operated. It has made significant growth price-wise and market share-wise. And Cardano, of course, one of my original favorites back when it was 2 cents. I wrote it to 16 cents, had 200,000 of them, expected the pullback there, did not get it, and it took off. And I learned some pretty valuable lessons in that play. So ETFs in any of those coins could certainly have some ripples, pun intended, across the market, and not so fast. Congress has a few things to say about it. The House and the Senate have talked about pursuing bills. There was an actual a bill proposed to reverse the SEC's actions recently, and it passed the House, it passed the Senate, and surprisingly, Biden vetoed the resolution overturning the SEC guidance. So the SEC established guidance that financial institutions holding crypto for customers should keep the assets on their own balance sheets. Now, critics say that makes it too difficult for financial institutions to work with crypto companies. I don't know if I buy that, but this was something that Congress then came together and decided to overturn this SEC guidance. And then Biden decided to veto it, which is actually surprising to me. It seemed to be a step in the right direction, at least to release a little bit more guidance, although a little bit tough to handle. It's weird that Congress said, no, let's not do that, when you would expect Congress to be the one trying to put the guidelines in, and then to have the president you would expect to support Congress veto Congress saying we don't want that oversight. There's a whole lot of weird interplay going on here. Biden kind of saying he'd rather have clear legislation come out of Congress than Congress legislate to overturn the SEC's guidance. So Biden kind of playing a cat and mouse game of, if you really want to go this route, make actual laws and legislation, but I don't think it is going to go over well with people in the crypto space. I was initially surprised and a little disappointed that Congress seemed to be favoring the crypto community, and no go. So meet the citizens of Consensus. I thought this was a fun little trip. So the usual, there's our fun Pepe guy with our dancing woman, and then you've got the usual degenerates and characters, Topher Grace from That 70s Show. I'm just kidding. That's just a guy from Generative Goods who looks a little bit like him. Amanda Wick, a Department of Justice prosecutor in the crypto industry. So a few notable names, nobody too crazy that sticks out immediately. But definitely a lot of people coming together to talk about crypto and where it goes next. Now, we haven't seen any significant hype building in the market. As I said, it's been a quiet past couple of weeks. Let's just check in with our trades. Algo holding in the green, needs to break above that moving average to get going. Cello, same kind of deal, but instead of the moving average, it's this resistance point and this one fib that Cello needs to break out of, but still holding okay. Doggy kind of stuck sideways at the 382 there. Engine bounced off that moving average, a little bit of a rejection there back into the red, but close to our entry point, nothing too scary. Ergo is all the way down at this 0 fib, has lost its trend line, is pretty much moving sideways. ICX stuck right underneath the trend line there, a little below our entry point, but nothing too crazy. INJ finally came back down underneath its moving average. IOTX bounced a little bit off of the moving average above the 50. I would expect this to start cooling down. Jasmy going higher. Now, I didn't expect this out of Jasmy, but immediately what sticks out to me is a little bit of a triangle here. Now that's kind of interesting. You could see it as a triangle, or you could see it as a bit of a sideways move. But personally, I see this bit of resistance interplay here before the breakout finally, and it starts to really look like a triangle, which is interesting to me in the current market context because we have this potential triangle here on Bitcoin, and now we've eked out of it with a little bit of a local triangle. So Will is Jasmine telling a little bit on us? Is Jasmine giving a little bit of a preview? Um, it's hard to say. Jasmine could be doing something important on its own that could be entirely unrelated. Hopefully, you went risk free on this one, at least after the second move. And if you didn't on the first move and you sold all of your Jasmine and you have none left, there is no safe way to get into a move like that. You would have to wait for the entire thing to pull back. KDA sitting at our entry point, waiting for this to get going. KMD stuck underneath the 50, still not really doing a whole lot. KNC broke out of that sideways area, rejected off the moving average, still in the larger accumulation zone. Our link trade finally getting some legs, 24%, looking good. Can it break to a higher high and give us what we need to go risk free? It's entirely possible. Loop ring moving sideways. There's a bit of a triangle there. I like the triangle right now based off of Jasmine. Litecoin sideways, nothing exciting. Metal right on that rejection point we talked about, pull back there. Neo stuck a little in the red, holding above the moving average, a little bit below our entry point. Would like to see this one bounce and get going again. Poly stuck at that 786. Hopefully you got risk free on that one. Power stuck underneath this moving average, pretty much a sideways march right at our entry point. So not a bad place to get in. Hopefully this one gets a bit of a bounce and gets going. Sand stuck underneath the 382 right, the 50, and underneath its moving average. And our SNX entry is up about 11%. So we're not doing too bad considering there's not a lot happening out there. Bitcoin quiet, the whole market in general pretty much quiet. Again, I apologize for my absence. I am back for a while. I believe my family matters are sorted for the foreseeable future. Not been enjoying things on my end, but you know, we take them one day at a time, and we just cherish the time we have with the people that we love. Go spend some time with your family. I'll be here the whole next few weeks, and I plan to check in at least 3 times a week, maybe a little bit more if this market can get moving for the summer. I'd love to spend some time sharing some lessons with you guys. I've gotten away from that. I'd love to get back into talking about things like setting up your own masternodes, why they can be beneficial, how to do passive income using masternodes. I'd love to share some more ideas with you guys in the near future, at least to get my mind off of things and get rolling again. I appreciate you all. Thank you for your patience. Thank you for your continued support. Please protect that crypto. If Bitcoin starts to break to the downside, some of our trades could break down. It'd be best to get out of the way. But if Bitcoin can break to the upside and start a summer rally, things could get exciting. So we will be here watching and waiting. And until then, studying. Keep it real. Keep it safe. I'll see you all next time. Take care.